Welcome to review number 12, the Industrial Revolution. Now let's take a look at the production of iron and steel. In many ways, iron and steel were the most important industry during the Industrial Revolution. While the production of iron had been around since the Iron Age, thousands of years earlier, the Industrial Revolution would not have happened had there not been major increases in both production and the quality of iron, as well as the development of steel. The iron and steel industries grew rapidly during the Industrial Revolution for a number of different reasons. The first was a significant shortage of wood in England. The large trees needed for masts of ship and support timbers for bridges were simply in very short supply, and so demand turned to iron. Iron itself has some issues and is not always the best thing. For example, sometimes iron can be too brittle and it could shatter under load, or it could bend too much. This is where steel comes in. Steel is much stronger and able to retain its shape when under force. Iron and steel were used to build factories, machines. It was essential for steam engines, which were the power for the Industrial Revolution, and was used for trains and railroads and in weapons of war such as cannon and rifles. One of the names you do need to know from the Industrial Revolution is Henry Bessemer. And what you need to know is he came up with the process to make steel relatively inexpensive. So let's take another look at something that is at the heart of the Industrial Revolution, the steam engine. Steam power was crucial to the Industrial Revolution because once it was developed, no longer were your factories tied to rivers and other sources of moving water. They could be located wherever was most convenient, either close to the raw materials or closer to the customer. The name we need to know in association with the steam engine is James Watt. While he didn't invent the steam engine, he took an existing idea and made it much more efficient and effective, and produces the first reliable steam engine. Steam engines became critical because they provided power for industry, the power behind the machines within the factory. They were critical for transportation, things like trains as well as steamships, and it had a significant impact on where you could put your factory. Iron, steel, nor steam power would have developed successfully had it not been for a ready supply of coal in England. So let's take a look at coal. During the Industrial Revolution, coal was the fuel for steam engines as well as the development of iron and steel. Fortunately, as we can see by this map, England had an abundant supply of coal. Coal was mined from beneath the Earth's surface, and it was a dirty, difficult job, all too often done with the aid of children, as we see in these contemporary drawings. This diagram of a steam engine gives us a good overview of how steam power worked. Coal was the source of the heat, so the coal was burned. The fire or the heat from that fire heated water until it turned to steam. The steam then was used to operate a piston, which in turn turned the wheels, thus allowing the train or the ship or the machine to operate.